Spencer.
And I'm an alcoholic.
And this is The Itch. And we're here to talk about Final Fantasy
stuff.
We got some new news. Day 1 copies of Final Fantasy Type 0 will include Final Fantasy 15, a 4 to 5 hour demo.
Which is absolutely good news for anyone who's a fan of Final Fantasy 15 and is waiting, riding that hype train, got their ticket ready. I'm aboard too. I'm first class, you know.
First class.
Right? But I am super excited for Final Fantasy 15. I'm actually excited for Final Fantasy Type 0. I honestly equate that to the one that got away.
Well, you told me you told me that Final Fantasy Type 0 was multiplayer, like cooperative.
Yeah.
So that makes me a little bit more excited. Final Fantasy 15, I have reservations about just because of what I've seen from it.
Oh my god, don't say NSYNC.
NSYNC, bunch of dudes with slicked up hair and a car together.
And
it's a little strange to me, but I'll give it a try.
Is that why you've been singing this the whole time?
No.
You just love the band. That's why you've been singing.
No. Pineapples. No.
In addition to that, Final Fantasy X is coming to the PlayStation 4. It's going to be that remaster that has Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X-2.
Can I say something?
Go for it.
That is bullshit.
Huh?
Bullshit? What? I love Square Enix, and I think that's bullshit. Why? Anyone else?
It's already come out like twice before?
Yeah! It's already come out. It's came out separately. Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X-2 came out separately. Different times. Rebundled, re-released as an HD pack. Rebundled, re-released as an HD pack for PlayStation 4. Who gives a shit?
Well, and for the Vita.
Who gives a shit at this point, right? Who cares? Because you have to understand, and people will use this comparison. Oh, well, it's just like Last of Us. It's just like Grand Theft Auto. Here's the difference. Rockstar and Naughty Dog both knew we can't just go, oh, hey, fucking here's the same game, deal with it. Naughty Dog and more still Rockstar had to include shit to it. Rockstar fucking pretty much made a new game by putting it on our current gen, on our Xbox Ones and our PlayStation 4s. In the case of this, it's the same game being offered to you for literally no reason, no incentive. The game was all right. The game wasn't bad as far as Final Fantasies go. Like, we know what bad was, and that was apparently 13. This guy.
12.
So, get out of here. 12 is amazing. I love 12.
Nope.
For as little as I played it, I loved it. I loved watching. I loved the environment, dude. It felt great. The judges, those guys look hard as shit, you know? But regardless on your take on it, you can shake your head all you want. I ain't even looking. Regardless of your take on it, Final Fantasy X and X-2 just weren't those good of games.
Mm-hmm. No, and I really believe that the reason why they did it with Final Fantasy X and X-2 was simply because the graphics are a lot easier to translate, and they're kind of, I mean, it's really recent. I mean, they released this 2 months ago ish. Within this year they released it, and then they came out with the PS4 and the Xbox One, and they need games on it. And they're seeing the sales come through on the PS3 for these games. Like, you know what? Let's go ahead and just bring it over to the people who got a PS4. I would kind of like them to do this also with Borderlands, the one that they just released, because the people that spent all their money and traded in their PS3 to get a PS4, they're now sitting there going, shit, that game only came out on PS3. Now how am I going to play the newest Borderlands? So I can see that's one of the reasons why they did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree that it's not a large enough title or a big enough deal to get a re-release.
Because it's not
a re-release of its re-release.
It's not really doing anything at the end of the day. Especially like your point that you said was they need more games. When does Final Fantasy X and X-2 come into the picture as a game that should be on PlayStation 4? It's fine where it's at. I don't care. You know, it's going to sound very hypocritical. I'm going to buy it, but I'm only going to buy it because I didn't get this. Don't leave. No, but listen, okay, the only reason why I'm actually going to buy it is because I really don't play on my PlayStation 3 as much. Okay, so yeah, I'll probably get it for PlayStation 4. Whatever, right? Play it when I'm not playing Final Fantasy 14 or something. But the only thing about it is it really worth repackaging and selling it? Like, I'm one of the few. I am the minority of people that will actually buy this game. You know? And you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe I won't. Because 10-2 wasn't that crazy of a game. I wasn't missing out that much.
No.
I would want a re-release of Final Fantasy 12, the game I never really got to play too much. I got to see a lot of, never got to play too much. My brother hogged the PlayStation 2 so fucking hard. You're an asshole. You know that.
Well, there's one more little bit of info that squeaked out of Square Enix.
And I'm going to let him run with his vendetta.
And Sony, and I'm a little bit peeved about it. Final Fantasy VII is being ported to the PlayStation 4 as well.
Well, one more thing before you get started. He's mad, but not for the reason that you think. Yeah, it's bullshit that they're not doing an updated upscaling graphically or otherwise.
Right. This will be a straight port of the PlayStation 1 version, which, well, it's a Steam version that just came out a little bit ago, but it's a port of that. But it's pretty much the PlayStation version. Here's the problem. I bought a PlayStation 3 a while ago because I knew that it had the PlayStation Network. With the PlayStation Network, I had access to all the PlayStation 1 games, almost, a good portion of them, and a decent portion of the PlayStation 2 games. Not the decent portion I was looking for, because I wanted my RPGs, and I didn't get almost any. But I thought that in the future, it would grow into me being able to buy a whole collection of PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 1 games, and hopefully eventually PlayStation 3 games. What I'm getting instead is on my PlayStation 4, there are no games.
What was that?
No games.
Oh.
I don't have access to any of the PlayStation 1 games that I bought. I don't have access to any of the PlayStation 2 games that I bought. Instead, I have access to only PlayStation 4 games on their PlayStation Network.
And some select PlayStation 3 games. Injustice.
Some select ones.
Last of Us.
And now they're releasing Final Fantasy VII as a $16 port and by itself.
$4 more expensive than Steam.
Right. Yeah. So I'm curious as to if they're abandoning the idea of me buying the games, which I already bought, that I won't apparently have access to, considering I don't want to have a PlayStation 3 anymore because I have a PlayStation 4. So they're getting rid of that. And now they're probably going to try to sell me all the classic games I've already bought and already own on their PlayStation Now or on their little rental systems or on any of that crap, which I think is absolute bullshit. I think it's really insulting to me considering I already paid for all of it. And I am really close
to losing my cool.
With this holiday season, I am very tempted to get an Xbox One and start going that route as well, and not dedicating so much of my efforts into the Sony brand, and it's super pissing me off.
Well, you won't get JRPGs, so
I'll get other games that I can still play on only the Xbox One.
Name one turn-based JRPG that he can get on Xbox One.
Potentially
on Xbox One.
Potentially,
because they're not going to transfer either. His library from the Xbox Marketplace, if you had one, is not going to transfer from the Xbox 360 to Xbox One.
I was just thinking.
Unless
there is, in my head
if there is, leave that in the comments section. But I don't believe there is.
Yeah, I can't think of one on Xbox One, but I was thinking Xbox 360. There's a few.
Blue Dragon or Lost Odyssey
or Eternal Sonata,
but that's not turn-based.
Point is, I chose the PlayStation brand so I could dedicate time to playing turn-based RPGs from the past.
My life.
And now they're taking that away from me. And it kind of seems like they lied about that. I was always under the impression that the PlayStation Network...
You're using the L word.
The PlayStation Network was always supposed to be my way to access classic games, and that was a huge selling point for me. And I feel like I was lied to, and I'm pretty pissed off at Sony about it.
Well, technically, if you actually own the product, ROMs aren't illegal. So that is an option.
That's definitely an option I'm considering.
I definitely own a shit ton of Final Fantasy VIIs. Because I got it I had it on the PS1. I have it on Steam. I have it on the PSN network. I actually haven't played it at all, but I own it. I have it 3 times.
You can't tell me I don't know.
Eris dies, fuck you. I have it on the PlayStation 1. I have it on the PC released by Eidos. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it came out on the... Is it Eidos?
Eidos.
Whatever. I don't care about Tomb Raider. It was released
well, if you have Xbox One, you will.
It was released by Eidos on the PC in a 3-disc set, so I got that. I also have it on Steam. And I don't need to buy it again. This is absolute bullshit. But anyway, that's my rant on the Final Fantasy right now.
Well, it does bring up a good point, though. Who knows? Maybe in the future, your cries will be heard. I mean, in the most manliest way, cries will be heard by not only Microsoft but Sony as well, and they can be like, "Hey, we're going to port some of your old games that you bought over to this current." It really
How
shouldn't
about
be too hard.
all of them?
It really shouldn't be too hard, but it does cost money. Any of this technology costs money, and I think it's too early in the generation for them to be focusing on this, to look back at the previous generation, because they're trying to get you to move.
But they already did it for the PlayStation 3.
Well, maybe they're a little greedy. I wouldn't doubt that Sony's a bit greedy. They just opened up in China, so they're going to get more sales. But the thing is, though, is they're trying to pull back and try and reach more of an audience before they go and overlap and be like, all right, well, hey, remember this game? It was on the PlayStation 3 5 years ago. Like, isn't it crazy? And bring it over. I don't think these ports are a way of doing it. And I don't think Square is actually doing a good job in that regard. Because we don't need specifically a Final Fantasy X port. You know what I would love? I would pay $100 for the first 10 Final Fantasies. I would pay $100 for that.
As like a bundled deal?
As a bundled deal that they offer as a cassette. $70, $80, I don't give a shit. I'd pay for all those and Tactics. Give me Tactics. Bam. I would buy that. I would pre-order that. And I think a lot of people would as well. Because those are your classics right there. Okay? I mean, yeah, maybe 10-2 is a classic too. Whatever. I'm just trying to bring up a point. I'm just trying to...
all I'm imagining right now is like the Godfather HBO series pack that you buy from like Walmart, but it's like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, or you could be like, you could split it up into quarters up in this bitch, right? You could do Final Fantasy 1 through 4, Final Fantasy freaking 5 through 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 through 12, or 9, and then
I think it should probably be split up by generation.
But hold on. In the 9 through 12 one, that's where you get your Tactics. That's where you get your Tactics Advance. If you like that shit, that's up to you. And your Tactics Advance 2 and shit like that. That would be sick. And you know what? Re-release Crystal Chronicles, for crying out loud. That game was dope as shit.
You don't gotta do that.
No, that game was great. I loved it. I loved being through the miasma carrying that bitch. That was awesome. Make that shit multiplayer. I will orgasm every day for that game.
Some people already do. Hey, I'm Spencer.
I'm Justin.
Take it away.
I'm producer Eric. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and comment below. You can subscribe to our channel. We release videos every weekend, and we release a few throughout the week. So thanks for watching.
I forgot I'm not supposed to talk.
Yeah, you're supposed to be a mime.
My bad.